just with the, game on the line, the pressure situation, and getting those big Ks?
Yeah, Scotty, this is 2 nights in a row where he just kind of got better as he got in there a little longer and got talk about having your back against the wall, and made some really gutsy pitches. Used his slider really smart, figured out how to stretch the zone a little bit. Just really impressed of how he's able to work out of that. Obviously, in his world and in mine, I think we'd all like to see that not get to that situation, but being able to get out of that's really impressive. And Greg, there's just something about a guy who's been there, done that, on that big stage of major league season. His back against the wall too, starting with that man on second base of coming in, and he's just he's got so many things to teach the guys down the pen, and he has done such a good job behind the scenes. To watch him do it up on the stage too is it's going to advance everybody down in that pen. But he was just fun to watch. He gets into those spots, he doesn't vibrate, and he figures out how to make the most of what potential holes he would see in an opponent. So it's just a great day for Greg.
Such a well-played game on both sides too, and so many key plays. I mean, the Mejia and obviously Franco. Just kind of go over just all the things that stood out for you.
Well, I know you're delaying the Brady talk.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's an easy one to go to, Flanny, and just watching what a huge shot in the arm for us. First of all, the organization taking a gutsy stance on letting him be a part of this. It's just not typical to where we're able to take a young player to go out and put him in this position. And it all has to do with the fact that he was ready, and he proved that he was ready all through spring, all through summer camp, and right up until today. And it was something that I know I won't forget. Whenever I see these guys come in for their first time and they do something, Zuber last night, Brady today, that was really special. After that, giving him a little breathing room with our 2 big horses, with Jorge and with Salvi, giving us a little bit of room to breathe. And that makes a big difference for a young pitcher who doesn't necessarily need to feel like he's got to be perfect, but he just went in and competed. He had a plan. He was thinking through his pitches. He had a why to what he was doing. There were just so many good things through that game. As you brought up, Mejia staying ready to get the bunt down. We needed Michael Franco to come in big and hit exactly what we're looking to do, drive the ball to the middle of the field, and then guys make plays. So it was a special day.
Just getting back to Brady for a second too. I mean, he was hitting the glove all day long. I guess that wouldn't surprise you, just based on his competitiveness and his character right now.
Yeah, and that's what we're hopeful for, and that's what we just continue to try. And Cal has done a great job of continuing to just encourage Brady. What you have done to get you to this point is exactly what you need to continue to do. It's not another level. What we're going to do is you're going to keep learning, but the way that you use your pitches up until this point is really good, and you've got a nice idea and a good feel. And he made some incredible pitches with his secondary stuff today. Never really got that changeup going to where it was a weapon like I know it will be as he's able to add. But right now with the sinker to elevate, to throw the slider on both sides of the plate in the zone and below, and no wind to stretch, kind of like what you're talking about a Holly doing. I mean, it's advanced, and it was just once again, exactly what the doctor ordered for our club.
He didn't get rattled too in that 3rd inning. I mean, a little bit unlucky. Some balls found some holes. A couple calls didn't go his way, but a lot of composure for 23 years old.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to stop seeing that. It's just who he is, and he's been raised well in this game, raised well, period, to be honest. So just a pleasure to have around here, and it's going to be fun to just watch him and keep throwing him just a little bit more, things to think about, to get to know the league a little better. He's taking advantage of all the resources, all the technology, all the information, and he's got the capacity to put it into a game plan for himself. So all of that is, once again, kind of ahead of the normal curve.
Thanks, Skip.
Mike, what about the job Salvi did behind the dish?
Yeah, Josh, I'm glad you pointed that out. Greg Holland can be Greg Holland right there. In a situation like that, and stretch the zone and continue to try and get chases. I want to tell you, these last 2 games and all of you have seen more games from Salvi than I have, but I want to tell you, those are two of the best games that I've seen him catch, of how he's blocking, moving, how he's taking control of the game. Man, watching from the side, just are so excited to see how he's bringing the whole game together. He puts a ball out in the stands about as far as a man can possibly hit a ball. And then he comes back behind the plate and he's got life, he's got energy. And the guys are just they have so much confidence in him. But, he got into some tough spots. Every time you're talking about Scott Barlow being in that place, his catcher's right there in that place with him. And knowing that winning run's on third base, and that one that barely scooted away, the only reason that score happened is because we had the third baseman so far off the line that we allowed the runner to come down because we needed that defensive coverage. But overall, Salvi just had a fantastic game.
Hey, Mike, to follow up on Brady there, that last inning of his, and obviously he finished it strong with the strikeout. How much rope did you have there? Because it seemed like Ian was ready to go. I mean, was that going to be the last batter no matter what, or were you going to give him a little room there?
He was close, Lynn. He was close. But, he was getting a lot of things that we were wanting to see. We were getting some ground balls, like you said, a couple of those snuck through, and they were actually counts that got flipped on pretty questionable pitches. And then after that, he was getting the swing and misses still. We were still seeing guys take awkward swings on his breaking ball, and his fastball still had life. So, and realizing too that we maybe one pitcher short, we didn't know how long we could stretch a couple of them. Still got a lot of arms down there, and we just felt right at that point that Brady looked like he was in good control of it. And while he just had a man on first base, it's still his. He gets much deeper, and there's a chance that we're going to be talking pretty heavy about Ian coming in that game.
Mike saw the fist pump when the game was won, but I wonder, like in your 10-minute cool down period that you had between walking off and meeting us in here, what went through your head? What was the scene like, because we can't be there?
Yeah, I'm in celebrating with our guys. Every win in the major leagues is a huge deal, and I don't care if it's your first win with an organization. It's a big deal, and we can never take one of those for granted, let alone one like that and that kind of style with so many different people putting in their piece. To me, that's a Kansas City Royal baseball kind of win. Not that we're going to go out and put down bunts every night to put ourselves in that position, but do little things right to give us a chance to win. And that was a collective effort. So I spent most of my time in, social distancing and high-fiving properly, but making sure these guys knew we're going to celebrate our wins like it's never happened before. We're going to continue to do that for the rest of this run.
Then I had one quick one. To see Ian follow up Brady like he did, and then Trevor just how important was that in that moment?
Yeah, those are two guys we can't look past. And first of all, Ian coming in and being real efficient that first one makes it real easy to throw him back out there. And then, we get to that spot where we've talked about before with we're at 9-1-2 where things could go really bad. And it's a great time that we've kind of earmarked that, at least for now, for a guy like Rosie to be ready. And he came in and looked just like we'd seen in both camps that we've had so far. And both of those guys are going to play huge roles for us. And it's going to be fun to watch them and how they can kind of work together. And there are a couple other guys we believe can step up and help in those high leverage situations also.
Hey, Mike, it was your first chance to actually have this extra inning rule. What'd you think of it? I mean, you won, so you like it, but what'd you think of how it went down?
Yeah, I love it, Todd. Hope we do it tomorrow. No, actually, that's true. I hope we have a bigger lead, but I have been a proponent for it, and I know baseball traditionalists are rolling over right now, but mostly for the point of not having to take a pitcher too far to be able to cover 17, 20 innings of baseball. You're pushing somebody that's probably going to get hurt, or else you're putting a position player in, which I don't think is the kind of baseball people want to see. And to go along with one of the main initiatives of the commissioner is to speed up this game. It brings a level of excitement. I've watched it in the minor leagues firsthand, that the fans get engaged because there's action. We've got something happening. What are they going to do? How's it going to play out? For us, it worked out where we're in the bottom of the lineup, able to put a couple guys in that can bunt. There's other times we're going to sit in. We're going to sit back and slug. And I'm looking forward to watching that too. I like our odds either way.
Brady, just take us through when you first got out there. Were there butterflies? How confident were you that you could do the job today?
Yeah, there's obviously a few butterflies, but really I just let the first pitch go as hard as I could, and I dialed in from there and went back to the scouting report. It was honestly a blast. I really enjoyed being out there competing with the best in the game. Um, I felt like I executed the right pitch at the right time. I had that one inning that, the balls found some holes, but battled back and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, take us through that third inning. I mean, there were a couple borderline pitches that you didn't get, and then you made good pitches and some ground balls, found some holes, but just the character you showed to get through that, and then pitch two more scoreless after that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought some of those were strikes, but that's baseball. You're gonna deal with it all the time. But yeah, some balls found some holes. I felt like I made some really good pitches at that time. I really didn't think I made too many mistakes during that inning. Obviously they're good hitters and put the balls where they wanted to, where nobody was there.
How was your stuff today? I mean, just overall, I mean, your command was obviously good, but just how do you think your stuff was?
Yeah, I thought my stuff was good. I could use the slider in situations, to get out of some certain situations. That felt really good, and fastball command felt great. I was throwing basically where I wanted to almost every time. Salvi did an awesome job back there. Working with him is incredible, and he helped me a lot.
Thanks, Brady.
Hey, Brady, this is a weird question. Fox showed you at one point, like, taking notes in the dugout. I'm just curious, like, what is that? And just, have you always done that? I know it's weird, but.
Yeah, no, I've done it since I've gotten pro ball. College coaches call it pitches. But I just kind of keep, overview of the game. I usually forget most everything I do. So I write everything down, what they did that at bat, and some little notes on, what I could possibly do to get them out next time. I keep it with me just if I ever need to jot something down.
To get this win, I mean, obviously to perform, but for the team to win in the fashion that it did, I mean, I don't know if we want to say perfect, but just kind of for you, how enjoyable was the whole thing?
That was awesome to be a part of that. Obviously, be a part of Mike's first win. He deserves the heck out of it. He's been an awesome through this whole thing. And then the team competed like crazy in their drag at the end there. That was unbelievable. But I think it really just showed the competitive spirit throughout the whole entire team.
Brady, I know how close you are with your folks. They would love to be there in the stadium for your major league debut. What were the logistics? Did they get to Cleveland? Did you get to see them? Where were they during the game?
Yeah, I got to see them. They were here in Cleveland. They flew in the other day, so obviously got to hang out with them, and they caught the game and watched it. Obviously proud. They were happy to be here. So.
Did they get to be at the stadium, or were they watching on TV back at the hotel? Where were they?
They were watching back at the hotel on the TV. I'm sure they were walking around, bouncing around everywhere. So.
Well, I know a lot of Royals fans, when you went diving in there to get the ball that Salvi threw between his legs, got a little nervous for a second. Did you find yourself about midair going, what am I doing here?
No, I think I would have taken a cleat inside of the head to catch that ball and get him out. I did not want that run to score, but no, luckily I didn't get hurt. But
Brady, how you feel like you finished that last inning? I mean, were you still feeling pretty strong? And then it looked like I think before your last pitch, Salvi said something to you. I think that he talked to you at the mound just before your last pitch there. What was said there?
Yeah, he just asked me what I felt comfortable throwing. I told him, and obviously executed the pitch. It's where I wanted to go. And the last inning was a grind. I felt like I felt great throughout the whole entire thing. My body felt great. I felt definitely in shape, and obviously ready to go throughout the season.
Holly, just kind of like
this is his favorite part of the day.
Yeah, Holly, just kind of like old times. I guess the last save you made for the Royals was in Cleveland too. I'm pretty sure you probably don't remember that one.
No, but I know I didn't start with a man on second. I probably might have threw a double for him.
Just take us through that inning. Just the pressure with having a guy on second base, and needing kickouts and trying to keep the ball out of the air and all that stuff.
Well, it's kind of strange. I mean, like I said, I've given up doubles with nobody out before, but kind of trying to read the situation and realize that you got a speed guy on second. And it kind of seemed like if they were going to bunt, they were in the part of the order that they would do that. And I realized Zimmer wasn't bunting. And then after I hit him, I thought, now there's a really good chance that they're going to bunt. They could take the winning run to second with a sack. So Hernandez kind of, after he fouled off the first one and didn't square for the second one, now I was really confused. But it's kind of one of those things where you got to be ready for the bunt. But the main thing is just executing pitches. Because worst case scenario, if I'm throwing good quality strikes and they do bunt, we get an out, and then we kind of go from there and play the inning. However we have to.
Did you think you struck out Ramirez twice there?
I have a tendency to Sally's pretty good at framing balls, and I'm pretty good at kind of running off the mound. So a lot of times he sticks it, and I kind of notice it late. And to be honest with you, I knew they kind of felt like they came out of my hand the way I wanted them to, but I'm not totally sure. And like I said, as long as I pitch, I've thrown a lot of pitches that shouldn't have been called strikes that were. So I'm not going to complain about potentially not getting one. I'm just glad that we got out of there. I think our bullpen the last 2 days has pitched really, really well, and I'm looking forward to that continuing.
Just the second game of the year, but I mean, just the emotional aspect of getting this first win and the manner in which you guys did it.
I think it goes a long way. It reminds me of former Royals teams where you kind of grind it out. And we played really good defense the last 2 days, giving ourselves chances, gotten time run to the plate, even yesterday. And today, we bunt them over and we get a pitch up in the zone, we get a sac fly, and we pitch really well all the way across the board. And I think once you start doing that, you start expecting to do that. And I think that expectation goes a long way with the team.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly, what'd you think of Brady today? His first time out.
He was pretty good. I mean, I know for me, I think because I know how nervous I could get, that I always am like, is the kid going to throw strikes? Not just Singer, but just anybody making their major league debut. And he came out of the gate commanding the strike zone, which I thought was very impressive. And for that inning, to give up 2 runs in that inning, and it kind of, for a young guy to keep it at 2 and not let it unravel, I think was pretty darn impressive. And, obviously we know just a short time I've been here, he's got incredible stuff, but I think the way he executed pitches and his demeanor was pretty spectacular today.
Hey, Holly, what when you're watching Barlow there, you already know at that point that you're probably next up, or is it after he gets out of that inning that you're just like, okay, time to gear up and get ready to come in this one?
I think collectively there's a lot of us down there who just, kind of are hoping we get the ball with the game on the line. And, after Ian got the call to go in the game, I was kind of ready from there, because I don't look at the numbers as much as Pedro and Cal and Mike do. So I don't know the matchup. So I don't know if, possibly I'm going to throw the 6th or the 7th or end up being 10th tonight. I just know that we've got a lot of guys who can get out. So I got to stay ready. And, I did a good job of that, kind of looking at the order as it progressed and saying, okay, if I've got the 9th, I'm going to be here in the lineup. And then once Barlow went out there, okay, 10th looks like it's shaking up like this. How am I going to attack these guys? And just kind of staying mentally ready.